Hello, people. Once again, one more live. I'm so happy to be here. It's our live number 11. Can't believe it. Time's flying. We're building up lives here. Number 11. Number 11. That's very good. It's today's Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about tonight a very good piece of equipment. The name is kettlebell. Have you heard of that before? Kettlebell? Kettlebell is a very good piece of equipment. If you've never done it before, I'm gonna give you tonight some tips on exercises and what kettlebells can help you to promote gains, strength, power, your aerobic system, where you increase your aerobic system. I don't know if you were on my live last night, and we were talking about metabolic, basal metabolic rate. And we were talking about that you need muscle mass in your body to keep your metabolism high. So your muscle mass and your metabolism work together side by side. If one drops, the other one will drop. So basal metabolic rate is summarizing is the amount of energy you need to keep your body functioning. Without this energy, you cannot survive. So I'm talking about at rest. So like me, I'm not really at rest now. When I say at rest, you're not moving at all. It's just like resting. So you need that amount of energy to make your body survive, functioning. Okay, so you can gain a lot doing kettlebell exercise. There are lots of exercises you can do it. Obviously, I'm in my flat. I'm not in the gym, so I will not demonstrate any exercises here. But we're gonna go through some exercise. I will explain. For example, we're gonna go through some points here, things you can benefit from it, and we're gonna be talking the advantages of doing a kettlebell exercise. Also, we're going to be talking about what muscles you're going to be using when you're doing this or that exercise. So you're going to be doing, you're going to be talking about exercise for your upper body, for your lower body. Okay. So, and you have a number of very good exercises to do it. If you ask me, do you do kettlebell exercise? Yes, I do. I try to do it at least once or twice a week. It depends on my program. It depends what I'm doing on the day. But yeah, it is on my program, kettlebells. And you just have to make sure when you do a kettlebell exercise, you make sure about a good form, because like any other exercise, if you don't have a good form, you can hurt yourself. Okay, so here we're gonna go through some points to consider. For example, variation. You can have like a variation training. When I say variation training, what I mean by that is like sometimes you come to the gym and you do the same exercise, always the same exercise. So it's always good to look out for something else, you know. So why not kettlebells? Kettlebells can help you immensely. If you know how to do the exercise, you're gonna benefit with it. So variation training is important. Don't keep always doing the same exercises. If you ask me, why, coach? Because your muscles, you get used to the same exercise day by day, and then you get to that kind of you come to that level where you stop maximizing in your trainings, yeah. And the word I just want to say, you come to a plateau, yeah. Come to a plateau. That means you're not benefiting from your training. Okay, so variation in training is important. You do it. Good. The second one, depending on the exercise you do with the kettlebells, you really accelerate your heartbeat. If you some of the exercise it doesn't push much, but because of the movements when you're doing the kettlebell exercise, they are very powerful, and then you feel like, oh my god, my heart is like pumping out. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, it pumps out a lot of blood into your working muscles. That means you're conditioning your heart, your aerobic system more and more, which is good. Okay, next one. Another point is you can, during the exercise, you can maximize your fat burning. Lots of people want that, to maximize the fat burning, which is wonderful. So if you can, you burn loads when you're doing kettlebell. Of course, you cannot just do one exercise and stop for 5-10 minutes. So, and you coming down, you cooling down. That's not the idea. The idea is like to keep on going. Have your resting times, but then back on again. Okay, that's great. Another thing is you can do kettlebell exercise at home or in the gym. This is great because nowadays you cannot go to the gym, right? The gyms are shut till, I don't know, till maybe end of this month. You don't know what's going to happen. So not having the gyms, you can have a kettlebell at home. You just need one kettlebell, and with one kettlebell, you can do different exercise. If you like you here with me today, and listening to me, I'm gonna give you some tips on exercises you can do with just one kettlebell. If you have like 2 kettlebells, much better. So again, kettlebells, you can do exercise at home or in the gym. Okay, in the gym you have like different sets of kettlebells. That's what I'm gonna be talking about. So what numbers you have, what kilograms you have, kilograms of kettlebells you have. You have like a different of kettlebells to do it. They range from 2 kilograms, very little weight, and then you've got like 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I don't know. I think the heaviest I have in the gym is 32. It's really heavy. So more than that, you don't need it, really. If you need something heavier than that, get the dumbbells. But it depends on the exercise you'll be doing on the day. Okay, so some kettlebells, they are like a rubber, and these are good ones, but they have like different prices as well. So it depends. If you want to buy one like a top quality, you pay for the price, but you don't need like top quality. Another point here when you're doing kettlebell exercise or doing the kettlebells, you get more power in movement, which is good. So it's great to have more power when you're doing, because sometimes when you're learning how to use kettlebells, there's not much power there because you have not memorized yet the movement. But when you know the movement, you input power, which is good. Okay, good. So the next thing here I'd like to talk is the advantages of doing this kettlebell exercise. Okay, so you might have some answers. I know some advantages, and maybe I'm sure you know what can happen when you're doing kettlebell exercise. For example, when you're doing kettlebell exercise, you can increase your muscle mass. Yeah, it's possible to increase your muscle mass because of the movements and the effort you put into the exercise. So that's the idea. So you increase your muscle mass. That's why you are looking for when you're doing training. You want to increase. You don't want to be big, but you want to increase a little bit more the mass in your chest, in your shoulders, your arms, your legs. You know, the whole body is important. Yeah. Also, another advantage of doing kettlebell movements is your coordination. You can you understand how to coordinate the movements. So and you get more muscular. You say like a muscular coordination, because could be a bit tricky sometimes when you're doing kettlebell movements. So throughout the time you get used to that and you learn more how to do it. So you get more muscular coordination. Okay. Another thing is, another advantage is increases your ability skills, increases your ability skills and reflexes. Okay, so your abilities will be better, and because the movements you're doing, it makes your brain work harder. So, and then you have like a better reflexes because you're always like looking and pay attention to the movement. So it makes your brain work harder and harder. Okay. You know, just coming from this thread here, so when you're doing like the kettlebell movements, it activates more your nervous system, which is good. So you're gonna be always alert, always you know what's happening. So your brain, you'll be more up to date, because the more you making these movements, the more you're creating cells in your brain. So you know the cells in your brain, they die, and then you build up all the cells in your brain. So you always like if you didn't have these cells, for me, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So when you're learning something, you're activating your brain, your nervous system. You're always like always creating, building up new cells in your brain, which is great. Yeah. Another thing with this, when you do like movements with your muscular coordination, you get a better balance, because balance is important. If you don't have a good balance, you can fall. You can fall over, and okay, you fall over, you stand up again, fall over again, stand up again. That's how it goes. But the idea is not to fall. The idea is like to control your balance. Okay, so it gives you a lot balance, because you have to be, your brain is always alert when you're doing the movement. Okay. Another advantage here doing this is like it helps you build up more your aerobic system. If you've never done kettlebells before, you have no idea when we're talking about it. But if you've done before, you know when we're talking about it, because depending on the movement, because some movements are very explosive, you can feel your aerobic, especially after you've done like 20 reps, whatever number of reps you meant to do. You just feel like your heart is like, well, stay there, it's coming out, you know. So yeah, it's very pushy, but that's good. That's good. It makes you fitter. Yeah. Okay. And this one, the next one I'm gonna be talking about is, I like it because I've always liked to have a strong core, and I know I have a strong core because I deadlift and I squat without belt. I don't need belts. I'm not telling you how much I've squatted before, maybe one day, but that's not the point. I've never needed a belt because unless you're doing like really something like you've never done before. Okay, that could be better, because they're stable, they will stable your back. At the same time, I've read before, and I agree with the comments, it restricts your core to work more when you have the belt, because you have to really tight there, get together all that region, and your core is not freely to work. Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm against the belts, but I don't like belts, because I can count on my fingers how many times I've used belts all my life. You can ask their trainers if they ever seen wearing belts when squatting and deadlifting. I don't do it, but because I rely on my core, that's what I like. So I know I have a very strong core. So again, doing kettlebells works a lot your core, and you want to have a strong core, because that's the center of your body. If you don't have a strong core, you're good. Okay. Another good advantage of doing kettlebells is it works a lot your hips. When I say hips, you've got lots of muscles around that region. You've got your gluteus. Your gluteus is divided in 3 layers. Yeah, you've got like the minimus, the medius, and the maximus. Yeah, so all Latin words here. And so you work all that region and all the muscles surrounded there. Okay. Next one, let me just have some water. Yeah. Another good thing here is when you're doing, it teaches you to be very attentive with the movements, because if you fail, you can hurt yourself, you can hurt someone just passing by, because you're just holding the kettlebells. There is a handle and you're holding. If you let it go, it could go flying on someone's head, or you could kill someone. So it can be a bit tricky, dangerous when you're doing kettlebell movements, but please just pay attention with the movements. Don't talk to anyone, just get on with it, and you're gonna love it. Okay, good. How are you guys? You good? Okay. If you have any questions, just pop on it chat, and I will do my best to answer. So next one, we're gonna be talking about exercise for your upper body and lower body, and what muscles you be hitting when you're doing those exercises. Okay, it's getting a bit warm here. It's like seems as if I'm in a hot country. Anyway, so when you're doing like kettlebell movements, most of the got quite a number of exercises. You have to be standing to do this exercise. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about exercises you're doing and you're standing. Yeah, upper body exercise. The first one is you can do shoulder presses. You've got usually when I say shoulder presses, you think about like you using like both hands. Yeah, you've got this. You've got this one using both hands. But before you go into that, so how do you hold the kettlebell? It's important to know. If you have like a 6 or 8 kilograms kettlebell, yeah, there's the handle. You hold it. You're holding here. I don't know if you can see it. The kettlebell is not at the front of your hands. It's going to be resting at the back here. You're holding like that. It's going to be resting there. Yeah. So that's where the kettlebell is resting, and your elbows close to your sides, and you lock it. Yeah. That's how you start it. Another thing is, as you're standing, remember, on my lives, I always say, if you're standing, using your core. Okay. So what you have to do is suck your core in. Yeah. You suck your core in. Contract. When I say suck your core in, you contract. And then slightly you bend your knee. Your knees never ever straight. Bend a little bit and lock that out. Okay. So how you start the movement? You breathe in And breathe out when you push. Remember, I've spoken before about breathing here. In one of my lives, I think that was like a 3 lives ago, I can remember. So you're here, you breathe in, and you push all the way up. Lock it. If you don't lock it, you can drop it. So you lock the elbows, you come down again, okay? So, and remember, the kettlebell's right here, resting there. So you're holding like this. You cannot put the kettlebell in front of you. It's almost impossible. You cannot hold it, yeah? So the handle goes like that, just that. So, shoulder presses, you know, you can alternate one up, second one up, or you can do just one, yeah, just one. Okay, you can leave the other one on the floor and then you swap. But the thing is, remember, when you're doing kettlebell just one side, you're gonna feel a little bit heavier on one of the sides. So that's why you need like you could contract it, because the kettlebell tends to push you down a little bit, because it depends how much you're lifting. But if you have a kettlebell of 16 kg, it's heavy, even 12, okay? So that's how you do like shoulder presses with the kettlebells. That's good. Another one you can do it is, and I like this one because, okay, as the name says, shoulder presses, you know, it's hitting your shoulders, your traps here, yeah, and it hits as well as a second muscle, your triceps. So that's important to know. The second one, it's an exercise called upright rows. Upright rows. So you're holding the kettlebells down below, yeah, just at the front of your thighs, and you pull it close to your chest like that, yeah. You see your elbows go up, yeah. You have to keep your hands and the kettlebell close to your chest, because if it is away from your chest, you cannot hold it, unless it is like 1 kilogram or 2 kilograms. But if it is 12, 14, 16, it's high, so it has to come up just under your chin, yeah. And then what you're doing here, you're doing your upper back, yeah, and you bring your biceps into action, yeah. If you do this movement, you can feel your biceps contracted. I can feel it right now. So this is a great movement, okay. Just before I forget it, it's important to know how to pick a kettlebell off the ground. You see people, they just go and grab it with a back round like my elbow. So make sure you have a good and neutral back, flat back, yeah, and lift, okay. If you ask me, would anything happen to my back if I'm around? Can happen, cannot happen, but just don't wait, and you never know. It could happen, but it's better if you have a good technique. You learn a good technique and you never forget it. So make sure your back is flat when picking something off the ground, especially a kettlebell. Another one you can do here is like a back exercise. Back exercise is you go into a deadlift position, yeah, and contract your core. You can start with a kettlebells on the floor, and you pull it, and you put it, and you put the kettlebells back on the floor. If you're strong enough and if the kettlebells are not too heavy, you don't need to put the kettlebells onto the ground, yeah. Just keep the movement, pulling towards you, yeah. If you understand me, what deadlift position is, you know what I'm talking about it. I cannot demonstrate it here, but again, if you just like Google upright rows, back rows, if you just Google that, will come up. You're gonna see videos and pictures and everything there. Okay. So lower back exercises. So you can do. When I say no lower, I'd say I meant lower body exercises. Lower body exercises, you can do the one we call kettlebell swings. I like this one. It's a very powerful, explosive movement to do it. So this one requires a good technique, because it's it resembles a little bit when you're doing deadlifts, because you use a lot of your hinge. Yeah, all the power comes from your hips. But make sure when you're doing this movement, you don't lean back too much, because you put too much pressure in your lower back. So once you come up, because you swing, yeah, the kettlebell goes between your legs and up to your shoulder height and down. Yeah, and your neck cannot be like that all the time. You have to make sure your neck and the back of your head is in line with your spine, because there's a lot of people doing this movement lifting the chin, and if you're from behind watching, you see they're suffering there. They are putting a lot of pressure in the neck. So because they're not thinking about the movement, they are not thinking that that's an exercise for your hips. Yeah, it's not for your neck. And you see the neck going everywhere in the gym. So that shouldn't happen. So make sure when you're doing a kettlebell swings, you need your neck, your spine in line. Okay, it's like when you get like a wooden stick straight, it's gotta be like that. Yeah, so pay attention to that. Again, I cannot show you how you do this exercise, but Google kettlebell swings. It's so easy. Well, easy. It's not that easy to do it, but come to a trainer will tell you how to do it. Okay. Very good. Let me just drink a little bit of water. How are you doing, guys? Hope everyone is okay. So when you do kettlebell swings, you can do kettlebell swings with both hands, holding. You really have to hold it. And also you can do with one hand kettlebell swings. But then you don't start doing kettlebell swings with one hand. You have to learn how to hold properly with both hands. And then when you like confident, you just go with the one hand. And that's all fine. But another thing is, when you just do kettlebell swings with one hand, you're gonna feel you could go out of balance. But that's when you have to activate your core. You have to make sure you balance, your core is there. Otherwise, it takes you out of your balance. So you learn throughout the time. Yeah. So you have to keep practicing all the time, and then the movement will come together. Your brain will. You read the movement, you're gonna be fine. I'm sure. Everyone has to learn one day, right? So another one you can do. You see how many exercises you can do it if you have just one kettlebell. If you have like two, much better. Another one you can do is like forward lunges. Yeah, you step one leg forward, and you bend the knee. Yeah, and make sure when you bend the front knee to 90 degrees, and the one at the back, the front knee cannot go past your toes. And then you ask, why I cannot do that? Because if that means what? You push your hips forward, yeah, and your knee is going past your toes, and then you're putting pressure in your knee. Okay, will anything happen? Can happen, but the technique says you shouldn't let your knee go past your toes. Yeah, has to be at least in line. Yeah, and that's fine. Okay, so make sure when you do it, make your knee does not go past your toes. So for the lunge, you can just, if you want to get more intense in your leg and your hips, just do one leg, whatever number of reps you can do it, and then you swap to the other leg, and then let's say 10, 12, 15 reps. It's gonna be burning, which is good. Another one you can do it is backwards lunges. Yeah. So basically, you're doing what's the main difference between forward and backwards? You're doing your core, you're doing your hips, you're doing your thighs. Yeah. But when you take a backward lunges, it gets more your hamstrings, rather when you're doing a forward one. Yeah, a forward one is gonna get your thighs and your hips, right? Less your hamstrings. Of course, your hamstring will be activated there. But when you take backwards, you're gonna feel your hamstrings. Okay, plus your gluteus, everything in there. So again, very good exercise to do it. It requires a lot of balance, especially if you're holding kettlebells or even dumbbells. If you're not good with that, just don't take any weights at all, or just get a stick, yeah, hold it onto this stick and start doing the movement. That's how I do with the clients when they don't have good balance, yeah, or just hold the hand. Okay. So that was forward and backward lunges. Okay, deadlift, yeah, you can do deadlifts. You can do deadlifts with the kettlebells. For sure you can do it. Deadlifts, you can do deadlifts just your body. You just mimic the movement. Of course, you need something extra to add on. So if you have one, like after this live, I've got an online session, and my client will be doing, she's got kettlebell, and she's going to be doing deadlift with it. So how do you do it? Again, if the kettlebell is on the floor, make sure to pick that off the ground with a nice straight back. Yeah, it's a deadlift position. Don't round your back. So you lift it there, and you start deadlifting as if you're holding a barbell. Okay, so you can use one kettlebell, or you can use like 2 kettlebells to do deadlifts. You hold on the sides. But if you just have one kettlebell, you just hold it between your legs. And then again, remember, when you leaning forward from the hips, make sure you're not looking up. Yeah, make sure your neck is in line with your spine. Yeah, and think about it. You're not doing your neck, you're doing your hips, you're doing your core, you're doing your legs as well. Okay, you work on your balance. That's what it does. Also, because you're holding like this, you're doing your grips, you're doing muscles. That it's a very good compound exercise. I really like compound exercises because they not only work on one muscle group, they work like different multiples muscle groups. Okay, so now you know, like with a kettlebell, excuse me, you can do with one kettlebell deadlifts or 2 kettlebells. Okay. Another one I find quite nice to do it is called like a farmer's walk. Yeah. Again, you can do with one kettlebell, but this one is better if you have like 2 kettlebells, because your balance will be like a 50-50. You're holding, it's like a holding suitcase. Basically, that's what it is. So make sure when you do this one, contract your core, walk, chest up, looking straight. Yeah, don't keep turning your head. Keep looking to where you're going to. Yeah, if you're on a lane, go to the end of the lane and back and forth. What is it good for? It's good for your grip, obviously, because you hold. It's good for your forearms. Yeah, it's good for your lower back because you're holding. It's putting pressure in your lower back. So another good thing here is for your posture. So it's amazing for your posture because you cannot walk like that. You have to walk with your chest up and showing to everyone, hey, look at my chest. That's how you walk. And then if you have a girlfriend or wife and you're going to travel, she's going to give you the suitcase and you know how to walk. Okay? That's gonna, so that's why you have been training to help you, your girlfriend, your wife. I do the suitcases. You don't need it. I've got good grip. Okay, so basically, yeah, farmer's walk, you should do it. It's hard to do it. It is, especially if you're holding like heavy weights. Yeah. And the last one here, I've got like a kettlebell high pull. I like this one, but again, this one you can do it. Excuse me. So kettlebell high pull is it's not the explosive movement. Can be a little bit. It depends how you do it. But you finish here like an upright row. So again, you're working your upper back, your core, and you activate your biceps because you're coming up like this. Yeah, I can feel it right now. So because I'm contracting my biceps. So high pulls, again, the kettlebell can be right between your legs. Your legs, they have to be wider than your hips because that's your stance there. Yeah, that's your ground in there. Or a little bit away from your legs. And then you go into a deadlift position, you grab it, yeah, and you pull it towards you, right? And you put it back on the floor again, and you pull it again towards your chin, just under here. So you kind of can rest for seconds, for 1 or 2 seconds when you put on the floor, and you reset again. So you can do this one, or you just can get a kettlebell between your legs, lift, and start, and down. Pull it. So high pull, big high pull. You go close to the floor. You go close to the floor without touching the floor, and up, closer to the floor. So you're always like under tension because you're not resting. You're not putting on the floor and resetting again. So you go close to the floor and high pull. Close to the floor, high pull. Okay. So when you're doing just, we say upright rows. Upright rows, stop the kettlebell. You stop at the front of your legs, yeah, and you pull it, pull it, pull it. High pulls, you go closer to the floor, yeah. If you don't need to touch the ground, but close to bring to a good high pull. It's a very good exercise. So just try to picture the movement. So you go into a kind of deadlift position and you pull it, high pull. So you work a lot your core, you work your compound exercise. They are compound exercise. They're very good. So it brings you, it turns up your body, can maximize your gains. As I've mentioned before, helps your cardiovascular system. So many benefits you can get it. So you see how important it is to do weight training. And I know some of you, I can say here, you're not in the 50s, yeah. But it doesn't, and then you can ask me, should I do it? Yeah, you have to do it. It doesn't matter if you are 50, 60, 70, or 40 or 30. It's the same exercise for everyone. You just have to be careful with your form, your technique. If you don't have a great technique, you never maximize your gains, because you one day you come to a trainer and you ask, I've been training for quite a while, but I always like I've come to a plateau. And then like a good trainer will spot the mistakes there when you like your movements, or if you have like a good technique, maybe you're not doing like a very good workout, because you have to leave the gym like feeling tired. You have to burn, you have to break your muscle fibers when you're training. You have to take your muscle fibers to a level where, wow. I remember how many times, like having a shower, trying to brush my head behind my back. I couldn't because of my biceps or triceps, or even my back painful, because some days you push more, but you cannot just leave the gym as if you're not feeling anything. You come there for half an hour, you have to push, especially if you've come for half an hour. That's when you have to push, because you don't have much time. You don't have time even to rest much. So just go for it. Yeah. The more you going back to, sometimes it is your technique. You're not progressing. Sometimes it's the number of reps. It depends what you want. Could be the volume of your sets. Sometimes people just start to doing free sets, and they go forever with the free sets. They never change. So it depends what you want. If you want more strength or hypertrophy, it depends on you. I like to mix. I like kind of like mix both strength and hypertrophy. It's up to you what you want in training. Some people, they just want to just like to look good. Yeah. Some people just want to become a bodybuilder. I've worked before in a bodybuilding gym, and I can tell you straight away, I never liked, because things I saw it, and I was there for 2.5 years, 3 years. I never liked bodybuilders. I like natural bodybuilding, but if it's not natural, when I say natural, without anything into your body, if you know what I mean, that's what I like, because the natural comes from your sleep, your foods, and your training, the gym. That's it, nothing else. If you have something else in the body, I just don't like it. For me, it's you're cheating. That's it. But basically, that's what it is for tonight. And you guys, thank you for being with me. Yeah, and hope I have helped you. And this life, I know this life you'll be traveling to other places, because I know my life is going to Portugal, to France, to Spain, because I distribute my lives to these countries, and I know lots of people will be watching this live, especially when I promote my lives. So that's a very good and important subject to talk. If you know how to do kettlebell training, if you don't know, this is a good live to watch and get an idea. Okay, so thank you for being with me from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully I'll see you soon, and you take care, guys. Bye.